What is up, guys? In today's tutorial we're going to be going over how to use the selection tool and various selection tools to create visual puns. So as you can see here, I have one that's like basketball and it's a ball in a basket. The other one's called The Rock, and it's literally the rock, but he's made out of rock. So I'm going to be showing you how to create this too. You're going to be creating this too along with me, and you're going to include this along with the rest of your visual puns. So you'll be making 7 visual puns, and 2 of them that are going to be extra are going to be my 2, the rock and the basketball. So let's go ahead and get started. So the very first thing you're going to be doing is going to File, New, and you're going to be creating, make sure you switch this over into inches. You're going to be creating 4 by 4 and 200 resolution, and just click OK. So that'll give you an empty box. The first thing you're going to want to do is go ahead and place your your image of the rock and your image of the rock. That's funny. So place the rock, press enter, and notice I'm going to file and place. I'm not going to file and open, so please keep that in mind. And then the rock. So now that we have both of these, I'm gonna go ahead and make the rock. I'll leave them that size. The first thing I'm gonna do is grab my quick selection tool and go ahead and select the sky area, and all I'm gonna do is just press my layer mask. That's going to erase the rock but leave the sky. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and press on the layer mask and just press Ctrl I to invert it. And as you can see, we still have a little bit of lines and stuff there. So we'll go ahead and grab our brush, make sure it's set to color black, and just go ahead and erase this little parts. So now we have a pretty decent selection of the rock right here. And so what we want to do next is bring this rock over to the top, and we want to get rid of the white that this rock has. So by doing that, since it's just all white, we're going to go ahead and grab our magic eraser tool. We're going to click on that one, and it's going to tell you we want to rasterize. Just click OK and then click on that part. So now we have a rock without the white area surrounding it. So we'll go ahead and make this a little bit bigger so it can cover up everything that is made up of that person, and leave it just like that. Now if we press Control and click inside this little square, it makes, well, sorry, I guess since, let's deselect that. So select and deselect. If we actually hold Control and click inside here, it'll make a selection of the rock. But it's made a selection on the outside, so we're going to press Ctrl I to invert it. Oops. Select one of your selection tools like the lasso tool, right click, and put select inverse. And now we're going to go ahead and do the same thing to this rock and put layer mask. And we're going to invert it, so Ctrl I. There we go. So now we only have the rock on this actual person. Now by selecting the rock and going over to overlay, he now gets applied only to the skin, and we can kind of lower this a little bit so it's not too bad. But if you notice, it's also getting applied to his shirt, and we kind of want to leave the shirt out of this. So we're actually going to select the rock again, go over to our selection tool, and just grab what's made out of the shirt, click on our layer mask, grab this this brush, make sure it's set to black because black erases, and we're going to erase it from the shirt. Right now I explain why it's looking like this. And Control D. So now we have it erased from the shirt. Actually, you know what? I know what I did wrong. So let's go back in time, and we're going to erase it from the rock area. There we go. So there you go. Control D. And so now we have this right here. We're going to actually select both of them and press Ctrl T and just kind of make it a little bit smaller so that he fits right here in the center. And we're going to press OK. Now because he's chopped off from the side, I want to just kind of give it some kind of decoration. So I'm going to grab my rectangle tool and I'm actually going to just make a small rectangle, not too big, right there. And I'll leave it like that. Grab my type tool. Make sure you have maybe Arial, and you switch it over to Arial Bold. Click here and just type The Rock. Make sure that it's kind of small, that he fits underneath here. And so now the last step is going to be to add a gradient to this. So I'm going to go ahead and go with like maybe, I don't know, I'll go with like a red-orange type of deal here, something like that. And then something like that. And see how that looks. Grab my gradient, make sure that it's set to circle, start from the center and just drag outwards. And so the color looks cool, but all I've come to find out is that there's still some rock here that I need to get rid of. So I'm going to go ahead and press on the layer mask, grab my brush, make sure it's set to black, and I'm just going to carefully go in here and erase this part of the rocks. So I'm going to actually right click and make sure that my hardness is set to 100 and just kind of go here and erase this parts. Now little shortcut here is if you click one time while holding shift and you press shift down, you can actually click down here and it'll make a straight line. Hopefully that makes sense. So holding shift, I can do straight lines. And there's still a little white line right here, so I'll go ahead and grab him and erase it from there. There you go. So now we have The Rock. I might even switch these letters over to like a white so that they stand out a lot more. Yeah, there we go. So now we have The Rock. We're going to go ahead and go to File and Save As. And I'm going to save this one under my folder. So Visual Punts, where are they at? Visual Punts, Photoshop Work. And I already have here the Rock Visual Pun, but I'll name this one the Rock Visual Pun Part 2 and click OK. So then I'll go ahead and go to File, New, and again create inches 4 by 4 and click OK. In this one we're going to be creating the basketball one. So I'm going to go ahead and go here to select my basketball, and I'll provide these images for you guys, you won't have to download them. And right click, click OK, and there I have my basketball. Then let me save it already, save image as basketball, and then I'll go ahead and go back. And so the basket I used was this one, so save image as basket, and I'll come and go to File and Place, File, Place, Desktop, Basket, Place. Alright, so now I have my basket and I have my basketball. And if you notice, if I were to add a gradient right now to the background, so let's go ahead and do that real quick. You can see that, well, the basketball doesn't have a background, but this one does, the basket. So we're going to go ahead and remove that by grabbing our magic eraser tool. Just click in here, rasterize the image, yes, and there you go. Now it's gone. So I'm going to go ahead and make the basket just a little bit smaller. Click OK. Now I'll grab the basketball and make that a lot smaller. Make sure that it looks like it's fitting right around inside. I'm going to put it on top so I can see what I'm doing. And I'm going to put it somewhere around there. So now I need to make sure that it looks like the basketball is inside the basket. So I'm going to go ahead and grab my basket layer, go to my lasso tool, hold it, and grab my Polygon Lasso tool. My polygon does straight lines. So I'm going to go ahead and select my basketball and lower the opacity. Go to my basket and just start clicking to make a selection on the top portion of this basket, or I mean where you see what I mean. And so from here I'm just gonna go straight down, grab all of these, and then go straight up. So now what I'm gonna do is press Control C so I can make a copy, and then Control V so I can paste it. And I'm gonna go ahead and move that layer on top of my basketball and bring it up to the top so that it looks perfect. And then I'll grab my basketball, grab my regular eraser tool, and just make it small and erase some of this part right here. So now I can go ahead and hire this up, grab my type tool, and just type basketball. Make this a little bit smaller and put it right there. And I'll go ahead and save this one as basketball. So, sorry, wrong folder. Visual puns, Photoshop work. I'll name this one Basketball Visual Pun 2. Click OK. And so then, of course, I'll create a new a new document, which is inches, and it's 8.5 by 11 at 200 resolution. Click OK. Now I'm going to go to File and Place, and I'm going to place my basketball. Click OK. File, Place, cancel. File and Place, and I'm going to place the rock. And since I created doubles, I'm going to place the other ones. File, Place, the other visual pun, and File and Place. Where is it? Right here. And I'll place oh, well, I only have one, I guess. So I guess I saved, oh no, no, I don't know where I saved the other one to. File, save as. It should be there, but I guess it's not. Replace. Click OK. Untitled, File, Place. Oh, here it is. And part 2. There we go. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this guy here. Move this guy over here. And I want to make sure that I have enough room to put 3 of them up there. But I want all of them to look exactly the same size. I do not want one bigger than the other or anything like that. So everything exactly the same size, and then just resize them again so that they fit. Right there. And so now you can go ahead and resize all the other ones. What I would do is I would put it on top and make sure you resize it to the exact same size. Just drag it down so you can fit the other ones. You're gonna create, apart from my 2, you're creating 7, so you can have 9 in total. And then at the very bottom, you're just going to put visual puns by and your name. And this is what I want to see. So I want to see my 9, or I mean your 7 with my 2, which will create 9. If you have any questions, just raise your hand and let me know. But that's it for today's tutorial, and I'll see you on the next one.